Good morning. Shabbat Shalom to the scattered people all over the earth, the chosen ones of the Most High, who are seeking an end, to the evil that's on the planet, and who are seeking to allow everlasting righteousness to come into the planet and into their own lives. Greetings from Yahweh, our Father, and Messiah, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, the Savior. We've been studying Isaiah. Last night we were scheduled to go into chapter 62, which we touched on, but it was preempted by a testimony the Most High Spirit caused me to give. We're going to continue in our study today of the prophecy of Isaiah. Today, I want to start off in Psalms. I want to start off in the Psalms, because today we're going to talk a little bit about, with regard to Isaiah 62, expectation. Shabbat Shalom, Joseph, Sister Josie, and to Frank also, and David, Shabbat Shalom. In Psalms 9, because brothers and sisters, as I said, the Bible talks about the last days, and it talks about being Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Antonio. The Bible talks about the last days, and it talks about the terrible things that we're now experiencing and are going to experience. And one of the things, brothers and sisters, that we have to understand is that these are serious times which we live. And in serious times, human beings react different ways to serious times. For example, some human beings want to act like we're not in serious times, want to act like it's not actually happening, want to act like it doesn't exist, thinking that if they could just ignore it, it's going to go away. And unfortunately, like, for example, in the United States of America and in the so-called developing nations, that's been the case for a long time. As a matter of fact, according to Bible prophecy, the peoples of the North, Shabbat Shalom, Junior, the peoples of the North, which the Bible outlines as the sons of Japhet, the youngest son of Noah, Shem, Ham, Japhet, the peoples of the North, out of Japhet's tribes, would dominate the earth. They would be the most aggressive people on the planet, and they would, and in fact, in history, as a matter of fact, we know that from Daniel. And we're going to study Daniel as well as other places. But coming out of the North, the peoples that we now call Caucasian, European, they're the ones that were prophesied to be the most aggressive people on the planet. Coming out of the Greek Empire with Alexander the Great first, and then later from the Roman Empire, and then most people not understanding that even though the Roman Empire came to an end physically, it still exists in a religious sense with the beast power that has now taken its place. And we're going to see this in great detail when we look at Daniel by the grace of the Most High after we finish studying Isaiah. But when we just look here at Daniel chapter 7, we can see in Daniel 7, of course, we talked about this many times, the four great beasts that Daniel saw, beasts representing a kingdom. Four great beasts that Daniel saw, which was also seen by Nebuchadnezzar in the great statue. Four kingdoms: gold, silver, brass, and iron. Okay, gold, silver, brass, and iron. And now, as we also often, and I'm going over this briefly, so please excuse me if I'm going too fast, but just because we really want to get into Isaiah. But Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar both saw this. Nebuchadnezzar saw it first. He had a dream, then he forgot the dream. Daniel was given the dream and the interpretation. And inside the interpretation talks about four kingdoms. Now, there's been multitudes of kingdoms. Shabbat Shalom, sister. There have been multitudes of kingdoms on the earth. Lots of kingdoms. Every area of the earth has had kingdoms. Okay. But it lists these four specifically because of their relation to the chosen people, okay, and how Asatan uses them to dominate the entire planet. That see, the thing is, brothers, we need to understand in this spiritual war, the enemy, the spirit, there's a spiritual war, and the enemy that has powers that he controls in high places on the earth. The goal is to dominate the earth and have the earth give him admonition and worship. That's the goal. Okay. And he disguises himself. He doesn't show who is truly about. He doesn't even show, the Bible says, he doesn't even show us what his true motives are. He keeps it in his heart. But the Most High showed us what it says in his heart. He shows what he said. He shows what he's really thinking. Okay. And so that's why it picks out these four particularly. And these were Babylon, ancient Babylon, is where the Medes and the Persians, which came together to form a kingdom, one kingdom between the Medes and the Persians. And then there was the Greeks, and then finally the Romans. Now, the Romans being the last one, it talks about them, and it represents them as iron. Okay? And so let's look at that in Daniel chapter 2 first, verse 39 and 40. The brass kingdom is the Greek Empire, and then the iron kingdom is the Roman. And notice what it says about them. Verse 39 of Daniel 2, and after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, and a third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. See, these are not just kingdoms that rule sections like South America or Central America. They rule the whole earth. They're going to be in charge of everything that's civilized, so-called. The fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, as iron that breaketh all these, so shall it break in pieces and bruise. So it's an aggressive kingdom, the fourth one. And it goes all the way to the end. Because in this statue, it goes all the way into the feet until it's destroyed by Messiah's kingdom. Okay, so in one form or another, the Roman Empire would last all the way to the Messiah. And it is. It's in the form of the Roman Church, the Vatican Church, that controls secretly not just religion, but military, economics also. Okay, everything reports to them. The Edomites report to them. Okay, now in Daniel chapter 7, it goes again, and it goes into the iron. Watch what it says when the fourth beast of Daniel 7, which is again the same one. It's Rome, and it says in Daniel chapter 7, we're going to begin at verse 7. We're going to read verse 7 and 8. And after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. You see what happens now. Gold is the most valuable of the four metals that we saw. We saw gold, then we saw silver, then we saw brass, then we saw iron. And at the end, it was iron mixed with clay, which is the least valuable. So it was in value. But as the metals get less valuable, they get harder, right? So iron is much harder than gold, okay? So it says in here, after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, like iron. And it had great iron teeth. And it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. And I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, this horn had eyes, were eyes like the eyes of a man, and the mouth speaking great things, the little horn. Okay. And then he asked more about the little horn, says that's the most aggressive one, the strongest one. Daniel chapter 7, verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were iron and nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with their feet, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn which had eyes like the eyes, the eyes, and had a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And I beheld, and the same horn that came up from among the iron made war with the saints and overcame and prevailed against them. Okay, so the fourth beast, the iron one, that's the most aggressive, is going to make war with Yah's saints and overcome them. And that's what we see. Okay, the fourth being Rome, coming out of the sons of Japhet, the European, the most aggressive people that ever come upon the earth. Every place they have gone, they have taken over. Okay? Every place they've gone. They came to what's now North America. They came from Europe and they took it over. Whoever was here was killed or put into captivity. They came to the islands. They came to South America. Every place they went, they were taken over. And the original peoples were either killed, scattered, or placed in slavery. Of all those places. Even what we call now the Middle East. A lot of people getting confused with Edom, Moab, and Ammon from Daniel 11. But what you need to understand is the peoples that are there now in those lands are not the original Edom, Moab, and Ammon. Okay? They've been replaced by peoples of the north. And then followed up by Islam. Okay? So that the true peoples of those places have been, again, scattered, destroyed, or enslaved, or oppressed. For example, in Egypt today, any person from Egypt could tell you that in the northern part of Egypt, you have a lot of people of European descent. They're Egyptian, they're Muslim, most of them, but they're European, they have European descent, versus the southern part, where the darker people are, who are really descendants of the original Egyptians, but they're the poorest and the most oppressed. It's like that in all those countries. They've all been replaced because of the iron. Okay? He went into Africa. If he didn't take people into slavery for his profit, he took over in South Africa and took, why? Because there was diamonds there and they took it over. Oppenheimer, the whole fortune was from diamonds in South Africa. Okay? And they had the people of the land working it for them. Okay? That's history. They went to Australia, same thing. All right? So the iron has, and this, I'm just saying that this is prophecy. The iron prophesied to be the most aggressive, the hardest, the cruelest, stomping pieces, whatever's in his way. That's what the Bible describes. Okay? So now you have that right now. That's the situation. And brothers and sisters, as the Bible describes it, it's just going to get worse and worse until it's over. Okay? And so for the people of the earth that renounce, and I don't care if you're European, if you're a descendant of Yafet, or of Ham, or of Shem, the peoples of the earth that renounce this aggression, that renounce this unrighteousness, that seek the God of the Israelites, that's the only true God. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the only true God. He said, all the gods of the nations are idols. Yahweh made the heavens. Okay? So the peoples of the earth that are seeking righteousness and truth, the Bible says, Messiah said to the woman at Samaritan, the Father seeketh such to worship him. The Father seeketh such to worship him. Them that want to worship him, what? In spirit and in truth. He seeketh such to worship him. The problem is when you are raised in a certain way. For example, if I'm raised in a king's palace in England and I'm used to servants catering to me and I'm used to my clothes being taken care of for me and put on for me, I'm used to somebody doing everything for me. I'm not even used to driving because they drive for me. I'm not even used to doing anything except studying classics and poetry and such. You can't take me out of that and put me on the street in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, and have me understand what's going on. So it would be hard for me to adjust to that. And when you're in a situation as a class of people in terms of Yafet that have for the last 2,000 years walked all over the earth and dominated, and they'll even tell you some of their racist ones. I forgot this dude named Jared something. He's an intellectual racist, right? So he goes around telling everybody, black people are just inferior and they need us to lead them. And the reason, and they ask him, well, why, you guys came and just took land that wasn't yours? He said, his words, because we were stronger. That's what he said. As the Bible says, it be strong, the iron. In the strength of the iron, they break in pieces and bruise. That's prophecy. But what he doesn't understand is his time is not forever. In fact, as we're seeing now, his time is coming to an end. Okay, that's what he doesn't understand. And that's the problem when you're raised in a Eurocentric culture with privilege. And you created white Jesus and you created a whole culture that makes you a god. That's what they've done. They created a whole culture where black people that have a certain type of hair trying to straighten their hair to be like the Europeans. Okay. We have this dollar bill that's made by them, and we're killing each other to get it. And so you have such a dominant culture that takes over and envelops all the other cultures of the earth. It's hard for you to humble yourself and recognize that one of the cultures you tried to dominate is the chosen people. It's hard for you to recognize that in order for you to be saved, you got to listen to what these chosen people have to say, and you got to listen to their God. It's hard for you to understand that the God you serve is not the true God. The God of oppression and aggression is not the creator. It's hard for you to receive that. Now, obviously, there are people that are. That's what I say. No matter where you come from, you can't control where you're born, what color you are when you're born, who your parents are, but you can make a choice for righteousness. You can. You can make a choice for truth. You can look at things squarely instead of ignoring that it exists. And that's where we started with this. A lot of the people that have been cultured, privileged, dominant on this planet are ignoring what they're seeing. Okay, they're ignoring it. That's why they don't want to talk about reparations. It's interesting to note that this is true. After slavery was ended in 1863, listen carefully, in the United States of America, former slave owners were recompensed up to $1 million in today's dollars because because their slaves had to be let free and they were being reparated for the loss of their slaves. The slaves were given nothing, but the slave owners were being recompensed for the loss of their slaves. That's true. Look it up. Came to Washington, D.C. and got paid. It's also interesting to note, after the Holocaust, multiple billions of dollars, multiple billions, were recompensed to the Ashkenazis for lost jewelry, property. They still get money. They get tax dollars from the United States to the state of Israel to the tune of $2 to $4 billion every single year. Every single year. Also, the Japanese, you see, the European hates the Japanese because he doesn't look like him, even though they're related to Yafet, both of them. They hate the Japanese. They hated them then during World War II. They were more merciful to Germans they caught than Japanese. They didn't drop no bomb on Germany. They dropped it on Japan, though, twice. And during that time, they took the Japanese that were in the United States, where at that time, most of them were on the West Coast, and they put them in concentration camps. They called them internment camps. After the war, what they do? They recompensed the Japanese. They gave them billions of dollars to start over because they were sad what had done to them. So wait, the Ashkenazis get paid for their suffering. And the Holocaust lasted, what, 6 years? And within those 6 years, there was the Japanese internment. That might have lasted like 3 years. They got paid. The former slave owners in the United States got paid. Who we missing? Who didn't get paid yet? We didn't. Not only is it unjust, it's all good though. You know why? Because the Most High doesn't want us to get paid from them. It fills their cup. He's going to recompense us. And that's what we're talking about today. Expectations. Expectations, brothers and sisters. Let's take a look. Let's take a look first at Psalm 9. Psalm 9. Psalm 9. Like I said, the majority parties, the people that now control everything, they the sons of Yafet, that whose culture and whose ways dominate the earth, who have created, see, they have the money because why? They created what money is today. Money used to be silver. What did they do? They created money out of paper, and we all kill each other for it. And they can print as much of it as they want. They just showed you this year. Here you got people, 12 million people getting ready to get evicted in October in the United States for lack of money because they can't work because of the COVID. These are people that would work in restaurants, people that would work in service industries. They don't need as many now because of the COVID. So there's jobs that's lost, that's never coming back. Small businesses that have people working, them jobs never coming back. And they say they're giving you 600. Now, I'm fortunate. The Most High bless us. I've been working all through the COVID. And I've been able to support my family by the grace of the Most High alone. But my wife lost her job. If I got laid off, you know what? We never got the 600 a week. We never got it. She applied every week. My daughter got laid off from her job. She applied every week, never got the money. So I don't know. I was thinking, how many of those like us, got laid off early in the process and never got the money? We even talked to the unemployment. Yeah, you're going to get it. We never got it. Now, if we needed that to pay our rent, we'd be on the street right now. And there's a lot of people in that situation. Okay? Millions. And at the same time, your sons of Yafet are telling us, we don't want y'all to be lazy. Y'all need to go get a job. And there are no jobs. And they know there's no jobs. They know that. But we're not even going to go back to last year because it happened last year too. But this year, the Federal Reserve printed trillions of dollars to give to the largest corporations and put those trillions in the hands of a man named Steve Mnuchin, who got his wealth by foreclosing on everybody under the Obama administration. He created a company that bought and foreclosed on millions of people's houses and sold them again. Foreclosed on it for pennies on the dollar. He bought it and then fixed it up, sold it. That's how he made his money. And so he's friends with the unrighteous mammon companies. And so they gave him the authority. You decide where this money goes, and you know where it went. Top corporations, Amazon, Walmart, they got money. It came to the tune of trillions of dollars. Trillions. And here, you got people that's going to lose their houses for lack of 600. Brothers and sisters, this is where we are. When you allow, and that's what the Most High has done. He has allowed Asatan to run things on earth. We are seeing what the world would be like in a kingdom run by Asatan. This is his kingdom. We're seeing what it would be like. So the inhabitants of the planet must decide, is this what you want? And they can't even get to that decision by virtue of the fact that they've already made it. It's by default. Why? Because they're trying to act like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not as bad as you say. Get over it. I'll tell you something. There's an all-seeing eye, and it ain't no daggone dollar bill. There's all-seeing eyes from the Most High. He sees everything. He knows everything. He marks everything. Psalm 9, the 9th division of the Psalm. I will praise thee, O Yahweh, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou Most High. When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou sattest in the throne, judging right. Thou hast rebuked the heathen. Thou hast destroyed the wicked. Thou hast put out their name forever and ever. And thou, enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end. Thou hast destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them. But Yahweh shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. Yahweh also will be a refuge for the oppressed and a refuge in times of trouble. That's a blessing, man. And they that know thy name, that's his chosen. Okay, they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, and thou, Yahweh, has not forsaken them that seek thee. Sing praises to Yahweh, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings, when he maketh inquisition for blood and remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Have mercy upon me, O Yahweh. Consider my trouble, which I suffer of them that hate me. Yes, the heathen hate us. See, That's the problem with going in and marching. What you marching for? All they're gonna do is send out police to mow you down. Most High is not with your Black Lives Movement. He is not with lesbian-led movements. That's not of him. Lesbian-led movements that are funded by Ashkenazis like George Soros, he is not in it. So when you're out there marching, I know some of you mean well and you don't know what's going on, but you got to understand that's not of him. They hate you. The heathen hate you. They don't just dislike you. They don't just tolerate you. They can't stand you. And when you understand that, you'll see this from a different perspective. Okay? We're talking about expectation. Have mercy upon me, O Yahweh. Consider my trouble which I suffer of them that hate me, that thou liftest me up from the gates of the death, that I may show forth all praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in thy salvation. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, and the net which they had hid in their own foot is taken. Yahweh is known by judgment, which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgiah. Wicked shall be turned into hell, and all nations that forget Yah, for the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. See, brothers and sisters, there's heathen that's going to be saved because they never got the opportunity to know this truth that I know that I'm showing to y'all, that others are being awakened to. Why? Because they be so oppressed. They've been so poor and oppressed and hungry. They're heathen in that situation. The Most High has mercy on them. He's with all the oppressed peoples. And the spiritual wickedness in high places and all of these heathen that are giving them carte blanche and saying, oh, it's not as bad as you think. Oh, it's not, when people are getting thrown out of their homes, when little children are getting snatched up off the street and used as sex slaves to the tune of billions of dollars of revenue from it. You want to act like it doesn't exist? Okay. Because all that's going to come on them. The judgment of all that is going to come on unrepentant heathen. You see, brother and sister, it ain't that the Most High hates Caucasians and loves black people. It's not that. He hates unrepentant sinners because they remind him of Asatan, the original unrepentant sinner. He hates that, and he hates them and their works. For the needy shall not always be forgotten, and the expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Yahweh, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Yahweh, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Yes, because they think they're gods. That's their ruling objective. They all think that they really the controlling power and they the God. That's what the boy Jared said. We took over because we were stronger, because we smarter. But we're going to see how smart y'all are. We're going to see how strong y'all are. Because we got a God that created everything. And he's about to roll on y'all. And brothers and sisters, you see, this is different. When Messiah was saying, love your enemies, love one another, he was talking to Israelite people. For example, when Stephen was stoned at the end of the 490-year prophecy, Stephen was stoned. And he said, lay not this sin to their charge. Why was he saying that? He wasn't just saying that because they were anybody, brothers and sisters. He was talking about his brothers. He knew his own brothers were killing him. He knew that. And he knew they didn't understand what they was doing. Whereas Zechariah, the priest that was killed between the porch and the altar, after he raised the king from baby and saved them, the king had him killed and the king's son had him killed. He said, require it. And that's what we say now to all the heathen that are oppressing us, to all the heathen that have had us in captivity and oppress us and try to act like it doesn't exist and they don't owe us anything. What we say, require it. The people that killed George Floyd, require it. The people that shot Aubrey, require it. Breonna Taylor, require it. The people that shot the brother Blake in the back 7 times, require it. Bringing in, brothers and sisters, listen to me now. I know the heathen gonna be saying, oh, he's preaching hate. Nope, I'm preaching judgment. Because Yahweh is a God of judgment. And right here, he's saying, put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know that there's only one God and they ain't it. And it's time. It's about to get darker. See, we're entering a tunnel phase right now. And it's a black tunnel. It's a dark tunnel. But there's light at the end of it. The expectation of the poor. You understand? The expectation of the poor shall not be forgotten. Wait a minute. Let's look at some more. Let's look at some more. Chosen people now, right? Praise the Most High Yah. Psalm 62. Psalm 62. Truly, my soul waiteth upon the Most High. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. See, wait, hold on. When he says we are waiting on him, that means we're not trying to take matters in our hands, marching to the steps of Washington, thinking we're going to get some sort of recompense from the heathen. Like I just told y'all, the heathen hate you. You're an annoyance to them. They only use you when they need you to work their fields. And then when the Most High delivers you from the field, they need you to help rebuild the nation. They built fighting each other over you. And then once they finish that, they don't need you. Oh, wait, another war comes up. We need y'all. Fight for your country. Then you come back and we'll hang you in your uniform. They only want you when they need you for something. But once they feel like they don't need you no more, they're ready to cast you away. They only brought us here for economic reasons. They only brought us from Africa to work for them for free. It was never the intention, nor is it now the intention for the people that were brought here in chains to ever be equal with the captors. Ever. Y'all need to understand that. They got little young ones, and that's what happens when they're young and idealistic and they want to be liberal, but then watch them when they get older. That changes. That changes. Okay, that changes. They smile in your face. Oh, we really don't hate you. I've never hated anybody. See, that's why it goes to generations. It goes to the whole corporate culture. It goes to their history. It goes to everything. We are in the present situation because what? Of our history. We are in the present situation as captives because of the history of our fathers. They are in the present situation because of their history. They just want to act like what? Again, it doesn't exist. But we are waiting on our God. He has already told us this is about to change. About to change. You understand? Psalm 62. And he says he only is my rock. Whenever David says the Most High is his rock, understand what he's saying. The rock he's talking about is a mountain, right? A mountain rock. Because why? Because when he was running from Saul, what he would do? He would run into mountains because the mountain provided him protection. Provided him protection. Okay? That's why he also says he is my defense. Okay? So he's calling the Most High my mountain rock and my defense. You protect me. That's what he's talking about. The Bible says the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Proverbs 18:10. So he said, you my rock, my defense, right? How long will you imagine mischief against a man? Verse 3, ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him, that is the Most High, down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, right? Don't they smile in your face and then hate you? Am I lying? Do they not smile in your face and then hate you? Brothers and sisters, how could you say you love me when you support people that hurt me? You understand? How could you say I'm not really racist when you're supporting a system that oppresses me? How could you say that? It's double-tongued. Like what they say, what do you say, pale face speak with forked tongue? They definitely do. They curse inwardly. They don't like you. And now it's starting to come out. Like, because what's going on? They're feeling the tide changing. The winds are changing now. They're feeling the loss of their power. They're still in power, but they can feel there's a change, and there is. With the awakening. See, brothers and sisters, it's not about us taking up arms against them. Our expectation, wait. Verse 5. My soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is from him. Our expectation is with our Creator. They laugh at us. Oh, you waiting for somebody to come out the sky? There's even Israelites talking that foolishness. Are you waiting for somebody? Yes. Yes. We're waiting for the appearance of Messiah to come out the sky. Yes, we are. You know what? They laughed when Noah said there's going to be a flood too, didn't it? What flood? It never, that thing you're talking about, rain, it's never happened on the earth. What kind of thing you talking about, flood, Noah? You crazy? Doesn't even make sense. That's not how it's going to happen. Yeah. So we're like Noah. Yes, he's going to come out the sky. It ain't going to be secret either. It's going to be loud. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be preceded by hailstones and fire. That's going to hit this planet hard and deliver his people. My expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. Notice verse 8. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. Yah is a refuge for us. Look at verse 11. Yah has spoken twice. Yah has spoken once. Twice have I heard this. Watch this now. That power belongeth unto the Most High. See, this is the problem. The heathen think power belonged to them. And you can understand why they would think that. They've been dominating every place they went for 2,000 years. They've been dominating every place they went for 2,000 years. But the Bible told us this was going to be the case. The Bible said that. That's why Daniel was so concerned. He was sick when the Most High showed him this. What? This truth is going to be cast to the ground and stamped on, and they're going to prosper for 2,000 years? Yes. Yes. See? And why? Why would they do that? Why would that happen? Because Israel was prophesied to go against the Most High. And when Israel is not on the side of the Most High, listen, the whole earth is out of whack. When Israel is not worshiping their God, the whole earth is out of whack. Because everything starts with Abraham's children. You need to understand that. The oppression of Abraham's children is darkness on the earth. When the God of Abraham's children turn and come and they waken, there's light upon the earth. So much light that the Bible says you don't even need the sun anymore because it's going to be light. Because why? Because he is going to be there. The Bible says the name of the place, the New Jerusalem, shall be called Yahweh is there. That's what it says. Look at the last verse of the last chapter of Ezekiel 4. The name of that place shall be called Yahweh is there. Light upon the whole earth. Okay, but when his chosen people are in darkness, that's why this thing was allowed. At the end of the 490 years, we failed. We failed to bring in everlasting righteousness. We failed to anoint Messiah and prepare for him. I mean, he was anointed. John the Baptist did it, but we failed as a people. We rejected him. We chose Caesar. We said we have no friend but Caesar. And we told Pilate, we did it. We told Pilate, if you let this man go, you're not Caesar's friend. Because the religious leaders were getting paid by Caesar. Wait a minute, does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Love of money, the root of all evil. See, brothers and sisters, history repeats itself. But this is different. This deliverance is not just like a judge rising up like Jephthah did. This is not just about Gideon and his 300 rising up. It's not about that. This is a complete annihilation, a complete revolutionary overthrow by the God of heaven through the Messiah. The Bible said when Messiah comes, and Messiah, see, what y'all need to understand is Father sends Messiah as his representation. See, because Father, let me tell you something, man. Father is above everything. He's telling the heathen, I don't need to come myself for y'all. I'm going to send my son. He's going to take care of this business for me. See what I'm saying? We dealing with the God of the creator of everything. So he's like, you think I need to do this myself? Y'all ain't that big. Let me send my son. He's going to represent me. And the Bible said when he comes on that white horse, in righteousness, he judges and makes war. He got the Father's authority with him. And we're waiting for him. In the meantime, what we supposed to do? We're supposed to seek to obtain a divine nature. That's what our job is right now. We're supposed to seek his face, seek him in spirit and in truth. We're supposed to seek to be drenched, filled, overthrowing with his righteous spirit. That's what we need right now. Okay? Above everything else, above money, above camps, above churches, we need his righteous spirit to take us over and prepare us for when the Messiah does come. Because we're going to be part of the army, believe it or not. We're going to be part of the army at that time. Oh, yeah. See, they're worried about us now. They keep saying, oh, please don't get violent. Oh, we're worried about violence. Are the Black Panthers going to bring violence? Is Malcolm X going to bring violence? They're concerned with violence. We don't want this violence in our street. And it's so hypocritical, them being the most violent people that ever walked the face of this planet. We're concerned with violence. We don't want you rising up and being violent and destroying everything we've stolen and built with your muscle. Everything we've stolen and built with your muscle. We don't want you to destroy it. Brothers and sisters, they ain't got to be worried about us right now. Except when we get in this book and seek the face of the Father and be sealed in his spirit, then they're going to have a problem. Because when Messiah comes, see, we need a commander. We need a commander. That's what we need. See, and the Caucasians, and even a lot of us, we look to man as the commander. We look to Marcus Garvey, or we look to Nat Turner, or we look to W.E.B. Du Bois, or we look to Martin Luther King, or we look to Elijah Muhammad, or we look to Malcolm X, or we look to Fred Hampton. And then they say, oh, we should be looking for Black people. Here, let me give you Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Look to them. No, brothers and sisters. We look into Mashiach Yahushua, the one that's going to be called Yahweh, our righteousness, Yahweh Sadak. And when he comes, he's going to be our commander. See, right now, he's the high priest, and he's the teacher. That's what he is. But he's going to get a new name. He's going to get a new name. And his new name, the Bible says, this is the name he's going to be called, the Lord our righteousness, Yahweh Sadak. This is the name he's going to be called. And in righteousness, he does judge and make war. He comes now as the commander. See, we saw already an example of that when they came into the promised land the first time, when our fathers came in the first time. There he was with his sword drawn. And Joshua said, you for us or for our enemies? He was scared of them. Joshua was a man of war. And he said, he was scared of them. And the man said, nay. He said, nay. As captain of the host of Yahweh am I now come. He had his sword drawn. So he's ready for war. It's going to happen again. He's going to come on a horse with his sword drawn. That's when y'all got to be scared of us. That's when y'all need to be scared. See? It's like a rapper once said. He said, today is the tomorrow you should have feared yesterday. Y'all ever heard that one? I ain't going to tell you what rapper it is. You got to go back to the 90s. He said, today is the tomorrow you should have feared yesterday. Instead of acting like it didn't exist. Instead of acting like your kingdom was going to last forever. Your kingdom is not lasting forever. It's not everlasting. And now it's coming to an end. Because power belongs to our God. And he's going to send his son. Yes, he's going to come in the clouds. Yes, he's going to overthrow. Revolutionary overthrow. This whole system going to be turned upside down. Our Satan's going to be taken and cast into a pit, a grave. Okay, with the systems and the leaders of the systems of this planet that have our Satan's mark in their foreheads. Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 23. Proverbs chapter 23. Okay. Proverbs 23. Watch this, brothers and sisters. Proverbs chapter 23. Where should I start? I'm going to start at verse 9. That's why we don't argue with people either. Verse 9. I'm gonna go from verse 9. I'm gonna go from verse 9 down to verse 18. Proverbs chapter 23, from verse 9 to verse 18. Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Remove not the old landmark. Enter not into the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is mighty, and he shall plead their cause with thee. Apply thy heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge. Withhold not correction from a child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shall deliver his soul from hell. That's us. We the child getting beat. All right. He has to spank us. I know he's done it to me many times. He got to spank us, get us correct. He said, as a father chasteneth his son, so Yahweh chasteneth thee. Praise the Most High. If my son, if thine heart be wise, if thine heart be wise, my heart shall rejoice, even mine. Yea, my reign shall rejoice when thy lips speak right things. Let not thine heart envy sinners. Don't envy the heathen. Don't envy them. Don't envy their stuff. But be thou in the fear of Yahweh all day long. For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. See, it's our hope. We are saved by hope, brothers and sisters. The Most High gives us a hope of a kingdom. He gives us a hope of deliverance. He gives us a hope of his righteousness. And this hope gets us through. Gets us through. See, it shouldn't be. See, don't listen to the way the heathen think about these things. Am I going to make it into heaven? If I eat this, will I go to hell? If I do this, will I make it into heaven? That's the way the heathen think. Israelites don't think like that. The Bible doesn't teach like that. Okay, the Bible teaches we seek the Father's face. His righteousness provides us salvation. His righteousness delivers us from death. His righteousness and his spirit will raise us up if we are sleeping in the grave. It's not about if I eat this, am I going to go to hell? Or if I wear this, am I going to go to heaven? It's not about that. It's about the glory of the Father. All of us make mistakes, and we just saw what he does. What are you going to do? Spank us on your butt. You see, brothers and sisters, I raised 4 children, and I wasn't a perfect parent. I will admit it, greatly. But I learned from the first one. The first one went through hell with me, but the last 3 I learned from. Okay, and I didn't have to, like, when they were like 1, 2, 3, all the way to like 4, just spank them on the butt a little bit. Bang. Don't do that. Bang. Like, one of my children used to like to take the gates down. We used to put gates up to stop them from rolling down the stairs and messing themselves up. And he used to like try to take the gate down. I spank him on his butt a little bit. Now, I ain't beat. Just spank him on his butt a little bit, slap his leg a little bit. Say, no, don't do that. So he would look back. He would approach the gate, and then he looked back. He knew not to mess with it. Then the day came when he was able to walk up and down the stairs, and we were confident, so we took the gate down. And when he seen us took the gate down, he went to the stairs, and he was looking back like, you gonna just let me walk up here? You see, that's what I'm talking about. And then once they got to be that age and they knew to listen to us, and we raised them in the house, we didn't take them all over the place. My wife was home with them full time. See, like I explained to y'all last night, we lost our house, but I'm not sad in terms of the result. My wife was home with them full time. We didn't take them all out all over the place in public. My wife used to raise them at home. When I came home from work, I tried to give them a break, especially on the weekend. On Sabbath, I'd take them into the woods and just walk with them and talk with them in the woods. They used to love the Sabbath. Daddy, it's Sabbath's coming. They used to love that. Why? Because they knew I was going to take them out, and they each had their little sticks, and they called them their Moses stick, right? It was like a rod, and so each of them had one for each of them, and we'd walk into the woods with their sticks, and we'd name stuff. We'd find a little rock, and they call this Mighty Rock, or we found this path, and they'd name it, and they were used to that. So my wife and I were the ones they were around when they were little, and when we had to discipline them, that's how we did it, right? So when they got older, we had no problem. By the time they were 7 and 8, we had no problem. We would go. One time we went to a restaurant. I used to take them on Sundays. Sabbath, I take them in the woods. On Sunday, I take them to a restaurant to give my wife a break because she was with them all the time, right? So I come take them to a restaurant. One day we're sitting in the restaurant, and my kids just sitting there, just waiting for the hostess, quietly sitting, having a little conversation among themselves, which was cute in itself. I think my second boy at that time might have been Joshua might have been 7 years old, 6 years old. Jillian was 5 years old. Jessica was like 3. They just be sitting there. And one day we went into the restaurant. We used to go to the same restaurant. We go to this Friendly's every Sunday. And so this lady had 3 kids about the same age as mine. Maybe they were a little older. And literally, these kids, please stop. And they jumping up on the table, yelling, don't tell me what to do. You can't tell me, I want this now, and jumping all over the place. My kids just sitting there. The waitress came over and said, man, I wish all of them was like yours, because them kids were driving her and their mother crazy. But see, we had trained them at home, and we disciplined when they were young. So then they got to be that age, they didn't need that anymore. I never had to raise my hand to them again. You understand? Because they was trained now. That's how the Most High does us. When we first learn of him, he spank us. Because we trying to do what we ain't supposed to do. Some of us, he spanked us long time, like me, real thick. And so he has to spank us. But then when we get to a spiritual maturity, you don't have to do that no more, because we're listening to him now. Okay? We listen to him. We learn to listen to him. You understand? And so we're seeking him. Brother and sister, this is the time we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to be seeking him out right now. Seeking to be filled with his spirit. Seeking to be conformed into the image of Messiah. Right now. Okay, and churches ain't gonna do nothing but hinder you from doing that. Camps gonna hinder you from doing that, because when you put your trust in a denomination, a Christian denomination, or even an Israelite camp, you begin to favor the camp or the denomination along with the Most High, and that weakens you in terms of the Most High. See, brothers and sisters, what's it going to take for us to be sealed? Everything. Everything. Everything you are. Body, soul, and mind, everything. And we don't even know how to do that. Like right now, I admit it. Like, I like the New York Knicks. I follow New York Knicks. I know it's a weakness. I used to do the same thing with the Mets and the Giants. Most High got me off the Mets and the Giants. Okay. I still follow them, but I look at the paper, but I don't watch any games, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. But with the Knicks, I like the Knicks. And I admit it. I said it's a weakness. And I know he's going to help me. One day, I'm not going to look at basketball. One day, basketball is going to be so not important, because I'm going to be focused on other things that concern the kingdom. But right now, this is where I'm at. And I don't make no excuse for it. It is what it is. You understand? And that's what he needs from us. Honesty, sincerity. That's what he needs. Anybody, if I do this, I'm going to go to hell. If I eat this, I'm going to go to hell. It's not like that. That's Christianity. That's Catholicism. That's falsehood. It's about, am I coming to the Most High to give him glory? Am I seeking his spirit that I can be obedient? That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Okay? And our expectation shall not be cut off. So he just showed us that in Psalms 23. It's also in Psalm 24. While we in the same neighborhood, he says the same thing in Psalm 24. Let me see it. I know it's in. Let's see. But there's a lot. The Psalms is filled with wisdom and power, man. It really is. It really is filled with wisdom and power. Let me see what he's doing. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 13. I'm gonna start let me start at verse 10. Okay, I'm gonna start at verse 10, and I'm gonna go from verse 10 down to verse 20. Yeah, I'm gonna start verse 10 and go from verse 10 down to verse 20. Proverbs chapter 24. Notice what it says. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain. If thou sayest, behold, we knew it not. Doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? And he that keepeth thy soul, doth he not know it? Shall not he render to every man according to his work? See all these people trying to act willfully ignorant? It's not going to save you. He knows that you know. Okay? He understands that you know and that you acting a fool, like it doesn't exist or it's not as bad. He knows that. You cannot fool the creator. That's why I say those that are really, being willfully ignorant and really acting, trying to hide their hate, they don't believe in the Most High. They can't. You can't believe in the Most High and do that. Because if you believe in the Most High, you understand you can't fool him. You can fool me, but you can't fool him. And for you to think that you can is foolishness. He shall render to every man according to his works. My son, eat thou honey because it is good, and honeycomb which is sweet to thy taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul when thou hast found it. Then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. A just man. See, it ain't about falling. All of us fall. The man that says he didn't fall is a liar. Just man falleth 7 times and rises again. It takes us a while to really believe sometimes. See, it takes us a while to trust in the invisible God. You understand? Proverbs chapter 24 from verse 10 to 20. It takes us a while to believe in the invisible God, to believe in his spirit, to trust in him. He understands that, especially in this world filled with deception and vice, especially with evil spirits all around us, all over the place. Okay, he understands. So 7 times, that's perfection. So you may fall again and again and again and again, but you keep coming back. He that cometh to me, I will in no wise cast out, saith Messiah. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me. See, if you have a heart to return to the Father after you fell, praise the Yah, because that is his spirit bringing you back. We don't fear falling. We fear not coming to the Most High. You understand? Listen to me carefully now. We don't fear falling. We're not afraid of that. We're afraid that we won't go to the Most High. We're afraid that we don't give him praise. We're afraid that we won't receive his spirit. That's all we're concerned with. Messiah wasn't afraid of anything man could do to him. He was afraid of being separated from his Father. And we got to get to that point. And that's what he's trying to bring us. He's trying to bring us there. Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth, lest Yahweh see it and it displease him and he turn away his wrath from him. Yeah. Now he's talking about us among each other. You rejoice when your brother falls? It's going to come on you. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. The second time he said that. Don't worry about the wicked. They're going to get what they got coming. Concern ourselves with righteousness. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. There is no light at the end of the tunnel for them. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for us who are seeking Father Yah and seeking his glory alone. There's light in the tunnel for us. Praise the Most High Yah. And when we're talking about Isaiah 61 and 62, see, brothers and sisters, many brothers and sisters get confused with feasts. They don't understand. And I'm not saying this to be negative about them. A feast is a celebration. Okay? A feast is a celebration, is it not? When somebody said, I'm having a feast, we're having a celebration. In the parable of the returning son, he said, let us have a feast. My son is alive. They wanted a celebration. So the Most High set up 3 feasts in Israel to celebrate. And he said those feasts were going to take place in the capital city, Jerusalem. Because he said, when you go into the land, I want you to have a feast in the place I'm going to choose to put my name there. That was Jerusalem. Okay? He chose that place to put his name there. And I want you to come there and I want you to rejoice. That's what the feast was about. First one was about deliverance from the Passover, right? The second one was about the harvest early rain in the early part of the harvest, the barley harvest, the wheat harvest. The last feast, that second feast was called Pentecost. It happened 50 days after the first feast. And then there was the one at the end of the year, which is the end harvest, which is the end gathering. And he said, you're going to celebrate and you're going to celebrate in booths. You're going to make booths or tents. Why? Because it's to celebrate that you used to be traveling through the wilderness and you're not traveling through the wilderness anymore. You did not have your home yet, and now you have your home forever. That's the feast. And then there was the Day of Atonement. That's not a feast. There was a trumpet call 10 days before the Day of Atonement. People call it, the Bible doesn't call it a Feast of Trumpets. It's called a Day of Trumpets. It's trumpets because trumpets are warning of something that's coming. And what was coming 10 days later? The Day of Atonement, when all sin was going to be cleansed from the sanctuary, so that we give our hearts to the Most High as a last chance to give ourselves to the Most High and for him to take all sin off of us. Then the Day of Atonement came. It was a day of fasting. It wasn't a feast. And they were fasting. And then every 50th year, as we went through last time, every 50th year on that Day of Atonement, at the end of that Day of Atonement, when all sins were forgiven, all land was restored to the original owners. All debts were forgiven. Then 5 days later, after that, 5 days later, on the 15th day of the 7th month, Feast of Tabernacles, the ingathering, the harvest. And that's when they all bring all their tithes. They would bring their tithes to Jerusalem. And all the people, the poor, the rich, the middle ones, everybody, especially on the day, on the year of a jubilee, when all their land was now restored. So you might have been homeless, you might have been poor because your daddy gambled away all your property and gambled away all your inheritance. 50 years later, you get it all back. Right? Back to the original owner. And then you come to a feast and everybody bring their food. The Bible says you bring your wine, bring your strong drink, bring your flesh, eat it, rejoice, and rejoice with your brethren. That's a feast now. See? That's a feast. So that it's not designed for us to do in our enemy's land. We are captives. Right now people are wanting to keep feasts, and I'm not trying to discourage them. I just don't want you to believe that this is the actual feast. Brothers and sisters, remember in Psalm, he said, how can we sing a song of Zion in our enemy's land? Remember, said that? How can we sing songs? They required us a song. Our enemies that killed our children and took us in chains required us to sing and dance for them. Well, brothers and sisters, you know and I know, we still singing and dancing for them. Are we not? We're still singing and dancing for them. Okay? It's called entertainment. They required of us entertainment. How can we sing songs of Zion in our enemy's land, in a strange land? That's where we are. And it's hard. I know for me, I like fellowship and I like rejoicing. I like getting together with my brethren and we break out some wine and we break out music. We've done that before. Beautiful. But that's just a foretaste. That's what they call a foretaste. In other words, it's not the real thing, but it's something that's telling us what's coming. Because brothers and sisters, honestly, it's hard to celebrate when my brother's getting shot in the street, right? It's hard to celebrate when your uncles, my cousins, in prison somewhere. It's hard to celebrate when we're boxed up in red line neighborhoods and the police are killing us. How could you celebrate a feast when that's happening to your brothers in your enemy's land? Now, we do need an outlet. And yeah, as I said, once we get together, blah, 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 it's good. But don't ever think this is the real feast. Even if you try to keep it on the right days, it's not the feast because we're in our enemy's land. Our brothers are still suffering. I got cousins raised in jail. Uncles spend half their life in jail. Friends in jail for decades. Non-violent crimes. Okay? But that's how the system does us. How could we celebrate? here when this is happening to us? How can we sell? The Most High is trying to fix it. See, with this COVID, you can't even have 10 people together. If they see that you do that, they're going to break it up. That's the Most High allowing that. He's trying to tell you this is a dress rehearsal. Forget all that. Get ready now, because it's coming. Okay, but the day's gonna come. That's what we're reading about here, Isaiah 62. The day's gonna come when, brothers and sisters, we really gonna celebrate the true celebration, where, as we read last night, where there's no more death on the planet. There's no more oppression. There's no more pain. There's no more one over another trying to hurt them. There's no more disease. No more COVIDs and viruses made in laboratories. No more taking over land that doesn't belong to you. Everybody will be in harmony. The animals will be in harmony with the nature. We'll be in harmony with the animals in nature. We'll be in harmony and balance with each other. That's the true celebration. That's the true celebration. That's what we're looking for. See, like I said, everybody needs an outlet. I get it. And maybe my infatuation with the New York Knicks is my outlet. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I'm saying to you, the true celebration is coming. But it comes after, a serious skirmish of darkness over these next 7 to 10, 12 years. There's going to be, we've already seen a lot already, brothers and sisters, but you're getting ready to see more. It's getting ready to get real for us who are in captivity in these lands. The Most High allows, like what hit Puerto Rico a couple times, the hurricane. That's a wake-up call. That's a wake-up call for them to realize, listen, these people don't like you. Some of them think they gringos. Puerto Ricans, some of them Puerto Ricans think they gringos. They're not gringos. They don't like you. Donald Trump tried to sell you. He tried to sell you and exchange you for Greenland. That's what he did. And it's a wake-up call. That's what's going on right now. You see, brothers and sisters, it's not unprecedented. In the land of Egypt, when our fathers was in Egypt, there were 10 plagues. The first 3 hit all people, including the sons of Jacob in Goshen. It hit everybody. The first 3 plagues hit everybody. Okay, why? Because it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for the sons of Japhet. I mean, not the sons of Japhet, for the sons of Jacob. Sorry. Once they woke up, though, the last 7 plagues was only to the heathen, only to the children of Ham. The land of Goshen was separated. Moses said, now he's going to separate Goshen from y'all. And he did. Right now, all these things that are happening, this COVID virus, these hurricanes, there's fires, there's earthquakes, there's murder in the streets happening to us as well as them. It's our wake-up call. It's our wake-up call. And once we heed that, which is designed to do, and we start coming to our Creator and stop dealing with these heathen on these things, then he's going to separate us. The Bible in Revelation, those plagues of Revelation 16, they're named in Revelation 15. He said the last 7 plagues. The last. In other words, there were others for your wake-up call. But now the last 7 is only for the heathen. Just like in Egypt. Okay? Just like in Egypt. Okay, so Isaiah 62. Look at this, brothers and sisters. Watch this now. For Zion's sake, I'm going to start at verse 1 again, even though we read verse 1 and 2 last night. For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest until righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. Praise the Most High. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh shall name. See, that goes along with Revelation chapter 3. Watch Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3, beginning at Revelation 3, beginning at reading verse 12. Notice what it says. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my Most High, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Most High, and the name of the city of my Most High, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my Most High. And I will write upon him my new name. See, so he the Most High's Messiah is going to get a new name. Also, in the same Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name, which no man know save he that receiveth it, which means it's a unique name. All of us are going to be named by the Most High, and he's going to give all, because we're his children, and he's going to give us all a unique name. It ain't going to be two Michaels or two Joshuas. Everybody's going to have a unique name. Just like you ever hear this being said, every star in the sky is unique. No two stars are alike. Every snowflake that falls to the ground is unique. No two snowflakes are alike. And the Bible says he knows, that is the Most High, all the stars by their names, by their individual unique names. All of us are going to have individual unique names. He's going to give us a new name. That shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh shall name. All of us are going to be given from our Father a new name. Messiah also, he's going to be given a new name. Bible says, thou shalt be also a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh, a royal diadem in the hand of thy Most High. Thou shalt be no more termed forsaken, neither shall thy land be any more termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Bawala, for Yahweh delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. See, brothers and sisters, the kingdom. Imagine this now. We're in the kingdom. We're on land that belongs to us. It'll never be taken away from us. It's ours. And there's going to be nobody coming to try to take it from us except the heathen that would have been destroyed forever. And all of us are going to have property. All of us are going to have our own property. Okay? And we're going to have a new name and a new life. Nobody's ever going to bother you, molest you, hurt you ever again. Nobody's going to be coming to steal your stuff. You won't need locks. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. You understand? That's the light at the end of the tunnel. Verse 5. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as a bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall thy Most High rejoice over thee. The Bible says that in the kingdom, the Most High is going to rejoice over us with singing. I mean, like, you know, like, think about this. Everybody has music that has affected you, right? I mean, you have music that brings thoughts to your mind. Some make you happy, some make you sad, some inspires you. Music is a very powerful medium, is it not? Well, if we can get that from people on the planet Earth, imagine what the creator of music could bring. If we've been moved by the voice of a man or a woman that was born of a woman, what's going to happen when he decides to sing for us? Talk about being spellbound. Woo, man. He's going to rejoice over us with singing. Praise the Most High. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the name of Yahweh, keep not silence. That's why when you look at the book of Revelation, watch, go back to the book of Revelation real quick, chapter 5. Revelation chapter 5. See, I didn't understand this for a long time. Most High is giving me some understanding now. But notice Revelation chapter, actually not chapter 5. Well, you could say chapter 5, but I'm really looking for chapter 4. I'm really looking for chapter 4. Talk about the 4 beasts and the 24 elders. Okay, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders. Notice what it says. Revelation chapter 4, verse 9, 10, and 11. And when those beasts, starting at verse 8, sorry. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about him. See, again, they're flying, they're able to fly, and were full of eyes within, and they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Yahweh Al Shaddai, which was and is to come. And when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who liveth forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Yahweh, to receive honor and glory and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. I used to say, man, how could they do that all the time, day and night, without getting tired, without getting bored? Then the Most High showed me the dream I showed you about last night. The dream I tell you, in the presence, when I saw those two giant footprints next to me, and there was a cloud, and there was a power, and I felt it. I felt the power, and it was all I could tell you is that it's grace. It was something that came to me that wasn't deserved. That, and brothers and sisters, to be in that presence, I could be there forever. I'm telling you, it was like that. Okay, so I can't imagine, like, what is it like to really be physically in the that was a dream. If I was really physically be in the Most High's presence, it's like being renewed every second. It's higher than any high. It gives you joy that you can't even imagine, just being in his presence. And you don't ever want to leave. That's why you'll be hearing people when we're in the kingdom. You'll be hearing people all around you all the time. See, right now, if I listen carefully, if I go outside and listen, and you go outside and listen, I'm in the DC area. If you're in any city area, you go outside and listen. If you're in a city, you're going to hear fire department. You're going to hear fire sirens. You listen. You're going to hear. You might hear gunshots. You're going to hear cars. Right? You're going to hear police sirens. You're going to hear some people screaming. If you listen, especially like if you're in New York, listen carefully. You can hear it. But then we're going to hear in the distance, praise to Yahweh. Praise, thank you, praise, continually. Say, keep not silence. That's what this is, the light at the end of the tunnel. This is what we're looking for. This is what gives us our hope and our expectation. This is what will get us through, brothers and sisters. This hope and expectation will get us through. Okay? It's going to get us through because we're getting ready, we're going into a dark tunnel. But we're going to get through. He promises us we'll be delivered. Remember that. Okay? Don't let man scare you. Okay? Verse 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Yea, ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silent, and give him no rest till he establish, till he make Jerusalem a praise on the earth. When he say give him no rest, what that mean? Keep coming to him. He wants you to do that. Okay, he only need to hear us once, really. But in terms of ending this, overthrowing this wicked system, he wants to hear that continually. See, and it makes sense though when you think about it historically, because when he responded to the children of Israel, it was response to their cries to him. Remember that? He said, I have heard their cry and come down to deliver them. That's what he said. This is Exodus. He told Moses that. I believe it was Exodus chapter 3. Yeah. Exodus chapter 3. Starting at verse 7 and go down to verse 9. Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 and 9. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I'm come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. There now, therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. That was a local situation with that one nation. Now it's a Babylonian system that's worldwide. We're already in a one world government. We already have a one world economy. And brothers and sisters, you don't realize it, but all religion, all organized religion is under one roof. You don't realize it. It's like a great whorehouse, and you have the madam, and under the whorehouse's roof, there's rooms, and all rooms have a different type of whore in there. Okay. The madam is the Roman Catholic Church. The madam has a pimp. He shows up every day to get his money from her. Who is the pimp? It's the devil. Who are the whores in the room? You walk in, the woman say, "What can I do for you? What you looking for?" I want something redheaded. That's room so and so. That's your Mormons. I want a brunette. Room so and so, second floor. That's your SDAs. No. I need something real. I need something with some spirit in it. Okay, that's Pentecostals down the hall. She got all the whores. Okay, she got all the whores, and she controls them all. I want something a little different than these. Something different. Oh. Okay, that's the Hindu or the Buddhism or the Taoism. That's down. That's just down the hall. She controls all of them. All of them. Okay. Anything that's not under the one true God is under the whore. You can't, brothers and sisters, I know people don't like to hear this, but I can only give you the truth. It's not my job to make you believe or disbelieve. It's just my job to present. Most High Spirit brings the truth to those that want it. And so, brothers and sisters, either you're with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or you're under the roof of the whore. Period. That's why there was only 8 with Noah, 7 in him. Okay, there's always a small remnant. That's all. Okay. Isaiah chapter 62. Yahweh, verse 8. Yahweh shall have sworn by his right hand. Right hand is a hand of power. He has sworn by his right hand, by the arm of his strength. Surely I will do more to give thy corn. I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies. And the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine, which thou hast labored. See, how does that happen? Our corn gets to the hand of our enemies even now. It's called taxes. Yes, it's called taxes. What do they do with those taxes? They send money to the Edomites, $2 to $4 billion. Your taxes. What they do with your money? They print it, give it to the large corporations and their friends that control them in wickedness in high places. Then they get the money from you. They keep our brothers in jail, private prisons, with money that we pay. The police officers that shot that brother in the back 7 times, they're paid by our tax dollars. I will no more let the sons of the strangers drink your wine, eat your corn, take your stuff. But they that have gathered it shall eat it and praise the Most High Yahweh. They that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness. Go through the gates, prepare you the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. In other words, prepare the way. That's the job of the 144,000, just like it was with John the Baptist, preparing the way. John the Baptist prepared the way for the first appearance of the Messiah. The 144,000 prepared the way for the second appearance of the Messiah. Behold, Yahweh hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. End of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. See, salvation is a person. Let me say it again. Salvation is a person. You understand? Notice this could say here. Verse 11. Behold, Yahweh hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. And behold, his rewards. He's talking about a person. His reward is with him and his work before him. Who's that? It's Messiah. He is our salvation. Remember Isaiah 25. Lo, this is our God. We are waiting for him. He will save us. This is Yahweh. We will rejoice in his salvation. Why are we going to be saying that? Because the heathen is saying, oh, you waiting for somebody to come out the sky and save you? He ain't going to save you. Nobody's coming. The government is God. That's what they're telling us. We are God. That's what they're telling us. And we just wait. We're waiting because our expectation shall not be cut off. We're waiting because we're receiving of his spirit, and his spirit is giving us visions and dreams. He's giving us power over our sin. And we know by that that's the sign we're going to be delivered. We're waiting. Our expectation is from him because what? They think they have power. They don't know nothing about it. Power belongs to the Creator. That's what we heard. He said, I've been told this once, David said. Twice have I heard it. Power belongs to the Most High. And they shall call them, that is the chosen ones who receive the truth of the Most High, of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of Yahweh. Thou shalt be called sought out, a city not forsaken. See, they're not seeking us out now because we ain't got no money. We don't got a whole bunch of them greenbacks. They're not seeking us out. People will seek you when you got some money, right? You ever come into some money, even a little bit? Right? You know, you could even break it down like this. A person, I knew a brother that was on disability. He had disability, he couldn't work. So the government was sending him a check every month. He's on permanent disability. And when he got that check, ooh, he had friends, man. He had friends. They had everything you want to get, you know, ghetto fabulous. You know what I'm saying? They had everything he wanted. You want some woman? All right, you got a woman. You got drugs? You want that? Want wine? Come on, brother, let's celebrate. Because he got his money. And when his money was gone, so was all the people. See, you can get friends in this earth when you got them greenbacks. You're not sought out. If you having truth from the word, you're not sought out. No. You sought out if you get them greenbacks. Okay, if you got a scheme where you can get paid, you be sought out. But only those, the remnant, look past the greenback and are looking for the spirit. Only those, the remnant, that are seeking glory to the Creator above all things, sees the value in that above the greenback. Only those, and it's going to be shown. See, anybody could talk. I'm talking now. Anybody could talk. But we're going to see very soon. It's going to be shown. Every man's word is going to be shown. The light's going to reveal everything. Everything's going to be exposed. Already being exposed. You're paying attention. Catholic priests exposed as pedophiles. Already being exposed. Rich people, what's this, Epstein and his crew, with Clinton being exposed as pedophiles and child sex slave operators. Already being exposed. The government already be in 1980s with their boy Oliver North revealed they were in drug deals with Central America to bring them drugs and them crack to the black neighborhoods in America. Already being exposed. If you're paying attention, already being exposed. Okay? If you're paying attention. If you want Disney World, you can have that. You want to put your head in the sand, act like it doesn't exist? Okay, go ahead, do that. It's not going to stop the storm that's coming. And it's coming. We're going to take a break now. We just finished Isaiah 62. And boy, we got to do Isaiah 63. We're going to take a break and come back for Isaiah 63. Let me tell you something. Isaiah 63 is something else. I ain't trying to hype it more than it is. I'm just trying to tell you. Okay? I'm just trying to tell you. So we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back. It's now 12:33. We're going to come back at 1 o'clock. We're going to take a break, come back at 1 o'clock, and then Isaiah 63. May the Most High bless you to seek truth. May he bless you to convict your heart, to go after truth. Never mind what you thought you knew, but what does he want you to know? May he bless you so that you get his spirit working in you to seal you for this time ahead. May he bless you to have the expectation and belief and the strong faith to know he's going to deliver you. Until we meet again, either on this forum or on the Sea of Glass. Amen.